going on, man? It's your boy Tyree, man, and back for the second time. This part two, man. You know, we said we'd do the check-in in the off season, and now we're doing the check-in after their first game. I got my guy, head coach of Westover Girls Basketball team, Mr. Anthony Bennett.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's been a blessing. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that we back here again for part two.
For sure. So, since the last time we talked, man, what's been new?
Um, just basketball. Life's been life and just a couple camps. Just been in the lab with the girls and just going to some camps and continue to expand my knowledge and wisdom for the game and continue to become better for the program and the girls.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, yeah, man, I know y'all had your first game. Who'd y'all play in your first game?
We played Fight High School out of Wilson, North Carolina.
Okay, I heard of Fight. That's who 71st played in football. I believe it was in the third round. Okay, I've heard of Fight. How'd that go?
We won. The girls, they did a good job. Of course, it's always work to be done, even though it was a win. But I'm glad that we were on the winning side of things. So we're right now cleaning up things and continuing to enjoy the process. The girls are buying in, so I'm excited for the season. So most importantly, it's about them continuing to grow and myself being able to lead them as well as the coaching staff to get them to the point that they're aspiring to be.
So I don't know if we talked about this last time. I'm kind of going off of a script here, but who's some of your mentors that's mentored you throughout the years?
Of course I have guys like Trey Johnson, Mo Williams, Smitty, um, Bishop Thompson, Coach King. I mean, I have a plethora, but here recently I've been mainly with a lot of Smitty and I would say Trey, just kind of guys just keeping me on the right track is expanding my knowledge and seeing the bigger picture of things, because sometimes you tend to get cloudy with your thinking and how you do things. So like Smitty always tell me, what's your why? So that's been my main focus, continuing to understand that, know that, and execute that daily.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. I always, every time something going at the school or something going coaching wise that I'm not really feeling, I always go to Coach Bellamy and I say, Coach, I'm gonna ask you a question, and if you tell me I'm tripping, I drop it right now. But if you say I'm on to something, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna attack it because I don't feel like this is right, or you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like, so I always go to the you know, shout out to Coach Bellamy, man. He been coaching at Spring Lake Middle School for I want to say 23, 24 years, man. So you know, shout out to him, man, the OG. But I definitely get what you're saying. It's always anytime you're in a position of leadership, I feel like it's important to talk to others that's been where you've been. You know what I mean? To see like, am I tripping? Or, you know, I said this to such and such. You think I was wrong, or you think I could approach it differently? And the OGs, even though some of these guys that you not talked about are current, you know what I mean? Like Coach Stack, I mean, not Coach Stack, like Coach King, my fault. Like Coach King, you know, are currently coaching. You know what I mean? I think he was your coach at one point, right?
Yeah, Coach King, he coached me. He's been one of the biggest pieces I could say as far as just teaching me how to conduct a program, what needs to be done, how it should be done. But he's also challenged me to kind of like uh, make my own mistakes and weave it out. But he always there to correct me. So it's kind of one of those things like he's that in-house person that, you know, if I kind of start to steer the wrong path, he gonna bring me back in. But he will allow me. He'll tell me, hey, sometimes you gotta be an advocate for yourself. Sometimes you have to, you know what I'm saying, you gotta wanna know and you gotta wanna go out there and do these things. So he's always pushing me to do better, be better. And then I also, like I said, I have a person like Smitty that's always the outside in, who's a very big advocate for me, but also puts me in a place where I can do better and be better, and show me how where I can make corrections and things like that, and how I carry myself, how I speak, and all those things. So it's just been a blessing. I had the right people around me, so that's what makes me who I am today. So I can say right now that I have the right core around me.
Yeah, someone else that reached out to me about you was just talking about, you know, how they just appreciate how you've grown to be such a great young man as Coach Don Gardner. He reached out to me a couple weeks ago. He was like, yeah, man, I love that dude, man. Like, you know, he's just he just loved the way that you've matured over the years. You know, it's you know, and I know you probably seeing it now when you see, you know, girls that you've coached or guys that you may have coached that's going on to college, and now some of them are kind of following in our footsteps. They're coaching, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think it's just crazy to see that, like the way people mature. I think that's just wild.
Oh yeah. Coach Gardner, a great guy. Coach Gardner is actually one of the guys. He never coached me, but he's been a person that's always he's been an advocate for me and for my game. Um, he's definitely been a person that's kind of put me in a space where understanding the game as far as when I was playing it. So now me moving into the coaching and my career, he's always hit me with that call, that check in, always put me in place like, hey coach, like what you thinking on this? He's always just challenging me, but also I know when I call him or he calls me, he's always picking up the phone. He's always telling me how proud of me he is, and I'm just appreciative to the relationship and the bond, and I just don't take anything for granted. So my gratitude is just always there.
For sure. Yeah, you can't take anything for granted, man. Connections and just people in general. So moving on, how do you think your team has progressed from the summer? So from your last game last year, right, to your first game this year, what would you say some of the key areas that your girls progressed in?
Um, I'm gonna say maturity wise, mentally as well as physically. You're always gonna continue to have room to grow, but I feel that the girls now they're starting to grow into themselves. They're starting to want more. They're trying to have they're expecting to have more expectations for themselves. So now we're just in a space where now they're more receiving to things. Um, I just had to reassess me when it came to the coaching of them and how I was doing things and how I was approaching things. So that was one of the biggest things for me. Just I had to decompress from last season, and I had to ask myself what I wasn't doing, what I was trying to do, and what I wanted to do. And once I was able to answer those three questions, it kind of put me in a place where I had to talk to the girls, listen to them to understand, not just reply, see what their thinking is, see what their view is. So I'll ask them questions. Hey, how you like the coaching? Hey, how you like the workouts? Like, what's your view? Like, how you like this set? How do you feel you fit into this set? Like, I had to get to know them basketball wise, but personally. So I had to, do small things like, hey, just check on them. Hey, how you doing? How's everything? How's your mom? How's your family? Because again, the growth side of things, like you want them to run through a wall for you, but you got to get to know them and understand them. So the hardships and hard times, like they have to be able to trust you and talk to you, and they want to know that you're gonna love them just outside of basketball. So that was one of my biggest things. So I held myself accountable with the relationship part, but being there for them, not just on basketball, but on a personal note, so that hey, my coach doesn't just love me for a player; he loves me for who I am and as a student athlete in every area.
Got you. Yeah, that's most definitely important. And one of the things I felt like that you said that was most important is how you self-assessed yourself. Most coaches ain't going to say that. They ain't going to say, that I had to assess how I'm coaching and change some things, because most people kind of go into to the thing of, how I coach is how I coach. But I think in this day and age, it's important that you evolve. And I feel like the coaches that's been around for a long time are the guys that's evolving with the players. You know what I mean? That as the game evolves, the game changes. Our philosophies and our systems and stuff change too. So I think that's very important. Now, me and you had this conversation the other day. You was like, man, I think this is a great question for you to ask me. So, you asked me, how's things been looking, on the middle school level, girls, boys, etc. And I said, girls, it's hard for me to assess their talent. On the middle school level, it's just a little harder for me. And then that's when I asked you, how do you assess it, or is it different assessing girls or boys for you like it is for me?
Yes, because I mean, on the boys' side, the athleticness is gonna speak. For girls, the girls' game is played below the rim. So you're looking at skill set, you're looking at IQ, um, how well they can handle the ball, shoot the ball, attention to detail. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still pay attention to that with guys. However, we've all played. So, and I've played with guys that were just super athletic. So certain things are just being overlooked because they're just that athletic. Like, so with the women's game, that's not always the case. Do you run to some girls that's athletic? Yes. but really understanding the game, executing X and O's, but also having a good skill set, good feel for the game, good play. Because the game for the women's game, it would seem slower than the guys' game. So you have to look at different things when it comes to the game, but also knowing the expectations of the girls' game. Like the girls' game, like you don't have a plethora of girls dunking the basketball. Now, will you run into some that can? Yes. However, you have to look at their skill set, how well they could play, their feel for it. Can they get to their spots? How smooth, how fast, like how easy do they make it look? Because not every girl is athletic. Some girls just have that it factor. They can just get it done. So I look at a lot of the skill set, their feel for the game. Are they a leader? Can they guide others? Can they lead others? I look at those things like that. The same thing you would the guys, but again, that athletic part, that's the biggest thing. Like they may be a pure shooter. So it's just for me, it's just the more the skill set and IQ set for me.
Yeah, for me, man, it's this is my third year doing tryouts on the boys middle school, and it's just I think it gets it might be the most oxymoronic thing I'm about to say. It gets easier and harder every year. You know what I mean? Because the boys, the skill is going up, but I equate it to a classroom, right? If you have a classroom of 30 kids, but you have maybe 5 kids in there that's like just not bad, right? It might make you say, man, this class is bad. But take the 5 kids out of the equation, and you like, dang, this class ain't that bad.
Yes.
So I say the same thing I say that with the tryouts to say this. You might have 40 boys show up, but 10 of those boys, the skill gap might be so big that it makes the other kids not look good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you might say let's say you're doing 3-man weave, right? And you get one of those 10 kids in that 3-man weave, and every time they throw it to them, they're dropping the ball out of bounds. Yes. Every time they get the ball, they turn it over, they traveling, they're doing something crazy. Or we do middle school, we do 3-on-2, 2-on-1 a lot. You know what I mean? And when you got guys, the guy passing, guy makes a perfect move, makes the right decision. Like we would say the LeBron decision, right? He makes the right move. He gets to the hole, pass to the open man. The open man just drops the ball out of bounds or shoots the ball over the goal. Once you remove those 10 kids, or however many kids it is, it's easier to assess the other guy's talent because then you can hold everybody accountable. Like it was at a point this year at trials where I kind of felt bad, man, because we was doing like push-ups and sit-ups, and the thing is, when I blow the whistle, I want the kids to roll over to do the sit-ups. But the one boy, he just couldn't roll over. He just, my stomach. And I had to keep keeping him doing it over again to the point that I just went and tapped the young man on the shoulder. I said, hey, man, you might just want to call your ride, man, because I felt like I was punishing the other kids, you know what I'm saying? Because we keep starting over, and, you're only as strong as your weakest link, you know what I mean? So they keep starting over, and they kind of like, dang, I know they're probably thinking like, man, I wish Buddy just, so moving on to the next thing. So I know you spoke on how you assess talent. What's the number one thing, attribute you look for when you're assessing a new player?
One, their attention to detail, their body language, and just their attitude towards the things that's being taught and being told to them. Because like I said, the women's game, it's about skill set and IQ. So paying attention to detail, like I tell the girls all the time, how we're doing things, how we do everything. So we got to pay attention to details. The small things is what's matter. Even with, I'm gonna use an example. Yeah, we may have won on Saturday, but as a coach and as a leader, I was unhappy with a lot of things as far as boxing out, the turnovers, not being in place. Again, I tell them all the time, like, hey, winning hides things. So they get caught up in hey, we won, but when I go look at the film, I'm looking at, hey, we didn't box out. We're standing around. We're watching. We're not playing the game. Sometimes we're watching the game. We're not making the extra pass. Like, so you have to look at the big. I have to get them to look at the bigger picture. So when you play the better teams, hey, this is the norm. So we don't never want to play down to our level of competition. We want to play up. But again, I get it. Sometimes it happens. But at me as the coach and the leader, I have to make sure I'm reiterating it. So it's like, hey, you weren't told, but I have to practice that and execute that and rep that so they know and understand that, hey, like, this is what has to be done. So, and it's non-negotiable. So I have non-negotiables with the team and new goals. So they're starting to come along. But again, the main thing is how I lead them and how I conduct the practices and workouts every day.
Yeah, I got to the point now where I even started taping practice, man, to see like when we're scrimmaging, the stuff that you miss. Because like you said, you catch a lot of stuff in film, man, that you might not even have caught during the game. You know what I mean? That you go back and you like, dang, I like, because I know me, sometimes I get so caught up in watching the game. You know what I mean? Like you sitting there watching the game, you might have missed, not missed a lot, but you might have missed a few key things here and there. So I know you guys got your second game coming up this Saturday, right?
Yes.
You play in the Hoops and Dreams Showcase. Is this your first time playing in the Hoops and Dreams Showcase?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
How did that come about?
I just actually, again, this goes back along with me assessing me but also looking back at my goals. And one of my biggest goals were I went 2 years ago. I think it was when Terry Sanford played North Pitt, and I was one of my goals was like, hey, I wanted to build something for the girls that they experience playing in Hoops and Dreams, being in that atmosphere, being in that place to show their talent, show their ability, but show what the hard work that they've been putting in. So, and throughout this summer when I was assessing, I just started asking questions. I started sending emails. I started sending out text messages, asking others how could we get into it? What would it take? And I just kind of really worked hard for the girls, but I also in that my demand for the program and the girls was kind of different. So I understood it was things that I wasn't doing. It was things that I could do better. So I fixed me, but I worked on me every day in the midst of working hard for the girls and the young ladies. So now they have the opportunity to, play on this platform and stage, and prayerfully we come out with a win. So I just want them to be able to experience it, but also be able to see what it's like to win, but also understand what hard work does, and hard work pays off. So with that being said, Saturday we got a big opportunity.
So I think, and I've been talking to people about this. One of the biggest things I think that hurt Cumberland County schools is a non-conference schedule. So if you look at football right now, almost every 4A, well, every team except for 71st, I believe, is out. But a lot of teams, like I look at their non-conference schedule, and I'm like, why not take these opportunities like you're taking to go play in Hoops and Dreams Showcase? You went to fight. You didn't have to go to. You didn't have to. Y'all went to fight, right?
We went to the 252 actually tip off. So we went.
So you went
Yeah.
to 2x2 tip. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. That's the big tip off where I think Farmville Central played.
It was so you had Westover and Fike, then you had Terry Sanford and North Pitt, you had Harrows, you had Wilson Prep, you had First Flight, you had Trinity, you had
That's a good showcase.
it was like Bahrain was there. I mean, you had good teams there. You had Terry Sanford boys there. So I mean, we had good representatives there. But I felt, for me, just to answer your question, I kept preaching state championship mindset. In order to get to that level, you have to be battle tested.
Right.
So for me, I wanted to prepare them for war, but I want them to be battle tested. So the best way to be battle tested at the beginning of the season. So with that being said, you put your team in position to where, hey, you don't want to just play teams that you feel, oh yeah, we're gonna beat them by 30, beat them. No, you want to challenge your team, you want to challenge your staff, you want to challenge everyone a part of the program to rise to the occasion. So, and like I said, it started with me just saying, hey, if I keep saying the state championship and championship mindset, hey, I had to conduct myself as a champion every day. But I also had to put these girls in the best position and uncomfortable position to produce and perform at that level. So I just said, hey, this is an opportunity. This is a competitive team. This is a competitive school. So I want to play them. I didn't look at it as, hey, I'm going to tear my girls down. No, I wanted to show them and give them the experience of, hey, it's okay to be uncomfortable, but it's okay to challenge yourself to be better and do better.
Right.
So that was just my whole outlook on it, and I'm just thankful and grateful that the girls they're backing me, they're supporting me, they're working hard, and they are buying in. And I'm seeing a whole different mindset, not just with one, but all of them, and the ones that I haven't seen it, they're starting to get there. So that's just the beauty and the struggle. So I'm just gonna continue to lead them and guide them.
Yeah, I think it's great, man. I think being battle tested is important, man. I look at other counties. I'll use Richmond County football as an example. When I look at their schedule, they play like I don't have it in front of me, but they play what's the big school in Charlotte?
Panther Creek.
Yeah, I think Panthers Creek. I'm about to look it up, but I know when I looked at they schedule, even though they lost I think all their non-conference games, but the type of schedule they played, it helped them to end up eventually making the playoffs because I know they haven't been the Richmond of old, you know what I mean? Where they was running off this and that. So their non-conference schedule play 71st, which is we all know probably being regionals. Butler, Cardinal, Gibbons, Myers Park. That's the school. Yeah. So that's the type of non-conference schedule they play. So I think that more teams need to do what you're doing. I said that to say that. I think more teams need to do what you're doing, what the Terry Sanfords are doing, what Coach Hardy does at Smith, where she goes and plays with Raleigh. Christian, I think she plays Hillside this weekend. So, I do think more schools need to follow that lead and play a more competitive non-conference schedule because it can only help you going forward. I do want to say that. And I want to say I thank you for I ain't going to say pioneering that, but taking that leap of faith.
Yes.
I want to say that. We're going to play the best. We don't care because you can play technically who you want in your non-conference schedule in certain spots. I know you can. Yes. So, I think that's important, man. I think that's great. I'm going to be there Saturday when you guys, and this should come out before Saturday. So I'm going to be there Saturday, man, when y'all play 71st, man. I'm going to have the camera, media pass. I'm going to be down there on the baseline. I want to see something, you know what I'm saying? But for sure, but I definitely support Westover basketball, man. I definitely support you. I love what you're doing, man, and I really appreciate you and just seeing you mature over the years, man. I think you've grown into a great young man and a great coach.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words. I'm just like I said all the time. I'm just trying to develop, build, and inspire. It's an everyday challenge. I tell people all the time. It's a lot of work with myself, with leading, with coaching, just preparation. But I feel this is my purpose, this is my calling. And I'm enjoying it. So anytime I could sit amongst people like myself and continue to impact and lead and tell my story, I'm all for it. I just want to continue to move forward.
Most definitely. So, hey, man, Saturday, what time?
Saturday we play at 12 p.m. at Fayetteville State.
So if y'all ain't doing nothing Saturday, man, come out to Fayetteville State, 12 p.m. Come check out Westover 71st. Coach Bennett gonna be in the building. Tyree Media gonna be in the building, man. It's gonna be a great atmosphere. If you haven't ever experienced Hoops and Dreams, it's one of the great showcases that we have here in Fayetteville. So, like I say, man, come out, check it out, and we're gonna see y'all again towards the end of the season when my guy is getting ready for the playoffs, man. We're gonna check in then too, and we'll check y'all out next time. Tyree, Coach Bennett, y'all gonna see us real soon.